So this is actually part 2 of a video that I had started, and it was getting too long, so I cut it off at about 15 minutes, and this is the second part. This video is on the evolution of my organizational system and things that I did, especially when I had no money at the beginning of the year, and how my organization has changed and evolved. And I'll show you a little bit of what I currently use, and I'm changing already, so stay tuned. File folders, file folders, file folders. You know, I started teaching in the day when computers weren't so, well, they were there. I used file folders because I like paper, still like them. I still like paper, and a box. This is called a banker's box, which was very appropriate for me because I used to work in a bank. So, and this is how I did things. Now, I purchased a 2-drawer legal size filing cabinet because that was all I could afford at the time. But what I did was I would put the concept or the unit, and then whether it was primary or intermediate, because at the time when I was first doing this, I didn't know what grades I would be teaching. I didn't think I'd be teaching one grade for a long time. I like variety. Let's just show you my filing cabinet, and I'll show you how this has evolved. I was talking fine all day, suddenly it's changed. I purchased that 2-drawer filing cabinet, and then after a while it was full and busting at the seams, and that was just for files. You just accumulate so many things. So there's a good and bad to people handing you, oh, you're a new teacher, here, have these. Be careful with some of those. The curriculum changes sometimes. It might not be the grade that you want, so beware of that. But anyways, so initially I just had these vanilla type color filing files, and after a while this was getting hard on the eyes to look at it. So then I color coded stuff. So let me, hold on, let's grab a couple here. I purchased multicolored filing, file folders. So language arts was pink, and my math was, I believe, red. So there's an old geometry unit. So I color coded, and this helped me an awful lot, and I still use many of these. Social studies was blue, and hold on, I'm going to stop because I can't see. So this worked for a while, and again, this is where you know, as you're teaching and you're getting familiar and you're developing your style of teaching, that you start developing your organization of teaching. And so the color file folders worked for a long time, probably at least 10 years for me. And then I was in a school for 10 years, and again my organization started changing now. So let me just put the file folders to the side, and I'll talk about books. So I've always been a book lover. I've accumulated a lot of books in my time, and when it came to teaching, I had no idea how to organize books. I didn't know how to organize, whether to organize them alphabetically, by level size, by level size. What's level size? By level, by theme. I had no clue. By seasons, by months. There's no one answer for this, but the one thing I did is they always went into boxes. I had lots of boxes, and I'm gonna flip the camera here, or just a little bit, and show you just three of my shelves. This used to be 7, and a whole pile is in the garage right now. But anyways, give me a moment here. Okay, so these are just some of my books. There are units on here in binders. There are, I used to do a lot of lap books. There are resource books at the bottom. And as you can see on the floor, there's also, I am changing my system again. Okay, so now we're in my living room, and as again mentioned a few times, I am not in a classroom, permanent classroom right now. I am subbing, and the bulk of my school supplies and stuff are in my garage. And right now what I'm doing is I'm reorganizing into some sort of system that I'm going to be more happy with. I'm most of the time organized until I realized when I threw everything into the garage, I wasn't as organized as I thought it was. But the last couple of years, what I've been doing is I've been taking the file folders, and I've been transferring this over to binders, so that now, particularly my major stuff, I have white binders, and I printed off spined labels, and everything goes in here, and I put it all in protector sheets. And I like this system. This costs a bit of money because you are paying for the binders, you are paying for the protector sheets. Now I usually go on Amazon, or one of our local stores is called Staples. I've been on Staples and I purchase 100 at a time, or I can go on Amazon and I get 200 at a time, and I don't get the real heavy duty ones. I don't feel I need the heavy duty ones. Mind you, I've only been using these ones for about 2 years, but they're fine. Anyways, this is now replacing the file folders. And so this has been a bit of work. Most of my math is now, no, that's not true. I would say about 60 to 70% of my math is now in binders. There are still units that are in the filing cabinet that I have to move out, but there's also a lot of intermediate files in there that I'm just not using right now, so I'm not going to actually transfer them over until I need them. So that's been one project, and the other project that I've been doing is been moving over my books into boxes like this. So these are Iris 12 by 12. They're scrapbook cases, but they work great. I can get a lot of books in here, and I've been actually boxing up my books by theme. I have one box at school, and I've got a bunch in the garage, but again, I started with white, or a clear rather, with everything, and I also use them for either mini units, such as this one. This is a flat Stanley unit where I can get everything in there, like there's some craft stuff in here and whatever. This might go into a file folder, but I'm actually quite happy with it in these skinnier ones. And then I have huge owl units because I like owls, and they take up almost one and a half of these. But what was I going to say? I can't even remember what it was. Okay. The reason why I'm moving to a color for the books is because my last school, I had a great amount of storage, and I had these stacked in all these cupboards, and the white was almost not blinding, but it was hard to find things. Even when I put them in as alphabetical order as I could, these ones stack really well on their own, and these stack really well on them, but they don't stack well together. You know, you've got these, because as you can see, they're not the same size, and so they don't stack well. So I have these in one section, and I have these in another section of the cupboards, and it wasn't working. So what I did was I waited till there was a sale at Michael's. This is where I got the cup. They have rose or pink, and they have this mint. And I thought the rose was a bit too dark, where the mint is just subtle, more subtle anyways than the pink. So I'm trying this one, and I'll know within maybe another year or so, when I have my own class, whether this is going to work. But I will stick beginning of the year books. This is always my first one, so that one's the first one being transferred over. I just picked these up on the weekend because they were buy two get one free, and they're already pretty reasonable. They're about $5. So I wait until, like I said, you can get a two with one, or that's usually the only sale I see with these, because they're considered everyday value. Is that what I can't remember the term, but anyways. So So I'm going to try this with a slightly different color. I know some people don't like them this way, but I haven't had any problems with the clear ones. So we'll see. We will see. And then what I'll do is I'll have a label right here, and then I'll stack them. I'm going to show you another thing that I use for organizing work. Hang on. Okay, so this is my other organization tool. These I purchased from Walmart. They are Sterlite. I don't know how you pronounce it. And what I love about these, first of all, there's a freebie on Teachers Pay Teachers where you can print off these month things, and they fit in on the inside. But these will hold. They actually have a ridge on each side, and so you can pull out hanging folders. So I purchased hanging folders, and I love these. Oh, that's where that file was. Oh, that's too funny. Okay. Anyways, there's things that you're going to do every single month. And again, if you're teaching primary or even intermediate for that matter, you will do the same things over and over again, and it gets to be not annoying or anything, but you want something that's quick access for you to grab something, and when you know for sure, oh, it's going to be in September's, oh, it's going to be in December's, things like that. And I started using these about 4 years ago, and I saw this off a suggestion from a teacher on Instagram, and these have worked fabulously. There are times when I'm looking for something and I just go, oh, it's in this month, and I can pull it out. I have not labeled all of them. I'm not at the point because there's not a ton in some of them. I can find things pretty quickly, and actually, every so often, I'll be honest, I like to look through every file, because once in a while I just drop things in here and then I just double check. So, you know, there's snowflakes in here, and there's Christmas crafts in here, and every so often I put in the odd Christmas, the resource, like this one is a Christmas art ideas. I have them in here in Christmas Around the World coloring book that I will make copies sometimes from, and different things like that, Christmas cards. So this has been really great, and I don't have one for every month, because things like November, which I just saw on the back of this and I was looking for it, I thought I had put it in October's, but it looks like I put it in December's. I will put some months together. October is a light month for me, and not a light month, it's a medium month. September, beginning of the year, I fill this thing. October is about 3/4 full, and then November is quite light because the only holiday is Remembrance Day or Veterans Day, depending on what country you're from. And so I combine 2 months. January has its own. February is somewhat quiet, except it has Valentine's Day and 100th Day. March is quiet because we usually have 2 weeks off for spring break. So March is another one, so I combine it with April. So April, May, and June have their own. So I use, out of the 10 months, I think I have 8 of these. But I, again, got these on sale at Walmart, and I bought a case. I bought a case of 6, and they ended up costing me, I think, $6 each with the case sale. So anyway, so that has been a really good organizational tool too. Okay, so I'm going to stop there. If you have any questions or comments, I'd love to hear from you. Just put a comment down below. I'd really appreciate it. If there is an organizational tool that you'd like to know more about, or one that really works for you in your classroom, I'd love to hear about it. You can also find me on the Reddit community. I do like to put my 2 cents in on teachers' comments. I try to stay away from some of the negative stuff, but there are a lot of brand new teachers on the Reddit community, and there's some excellent teachers providing information and words of wisdom there, so you can find me there as well. But I hope you have a great week, and we'll catch you in the next video.